Welcome back now at 7:44. Are retirees in America facing a retirement crisis? According to a recent survey from Clever Real Estate, 64% of retirees believe the U.S. is in a retirement crisis. The survey found many seniors can't afford to stop working, and those who do fear they won't have enough money to last. Joining us this morning to break it all down is Burns financial advisor John Ross Donez. John, so tell us, why do so many retirees feel like they're in a crisis right now?
Well, I think a big part of it is that people plan for what they need right now and don't really think about it in the long term of what things are going to cost 10, 20, 30 years from now. So there is a gap between the perception of what you need in this current economy versus what it would be 30 years from now.
Right, right. And you know, when you think about that, especially if retirement is approaching, you want to make sure that you do it right. And if you run out of money, you were telling me earlier, you can't really go back and start over.
Yeah, you definitely need to put all your ducks in a row and have a real concise plan together. Make sure that you have enough to keep up with inflation costs, you know, the rising cost of health care, insurance, all those things come into play when really thinking about retiring when you're in that age of 55, 65 looking to retire.
So is there, you know, I guess if someone sat down with you and said, look, you know, I feel like we potentially could retire now or, you know, at the end of the year, but we're not sure if we have that comfortability, you know, what we need to last. What would you tell them? Is it possible, like, does another year of work potentially help?
It depends on the numbers, right? It's a case-to-case basis, so we got to see what your expenses are compared to what you expect them to be in your first few years of retirement, because you want to do things, right? You want to travel, you want to, you know, do the things that you've always been wanting to do when you go retire. Maybe get another property somewhere and do that. So you got to put the numbers together, see how much all that stuff's really going to cost you on top of the rising cost of, like we said earlier, healthcare, and different things like that.
So when you talk about these things too, you know, what I'm hearing is likely what retirees would be hearing, you know, now and for decades in the past. So I guess the real question is there a crisis, or is this just the same sort of things that, you know, people have to really look at and manage regardless of the condition of the economy?
I would say that for the past 10 to 15 years, it has risen more than you would expect or what the overall average was. And then also a lot of companies are doing away with pensions. You know, now we're kind of moving into the 401ks, the IRAs, and different things like that. So that aspect of pensions and Social Security paying you out over that certain period of time, that's looking less and less likely for people who are in the younger working class. So that's just something to think about, is not having to have all of those things be what pushes you through retirement. You're going to have to probably do a little bit of the lifting on your end and figure it out and kind of have that be a part of the holistic bucket. But you got to have some other aspects and incomes when coming into retirement.
Ultimately, chatting with a financial advisor is always a great.
That's always recommended. Yeah, always.
Absolutely.
And just the biggest thing also to keep in mind is probably within the next 10 years or so, Social Security will kind of get some sort of revamp or some sort of adjustment. So that's always something to keep in the back of your mind when thinking about retirement.
All right, sounds good. Some great advice. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Time now is 7:48. Let's get over to